Now let's create a more complex component, a card for downloading a file. Delete the code of the new component. Import React and atomize. Import the card from the previous video. Let's create our main component. The component will take props. The imported card is the basis for our component. Add a text. Export the component. Enter its name and description. Add our props to prop info. Copy them from card. Paste them to our new component. Add the default values. Save and check. Delete card and add download file. At first glance, nothing has changed, but the component works. Controls of the props work perfectly. Remove the typo from the word. Then import hook useOverrides. We need it to select an element on the page and style it independently of the other elements. Import the icon primitive. It will be an icon with a file type. The icon needs an overlay, so let's create the icon block element. It will be a simple div. Add icon block to your card, and the icon block will contain the icon. Let's see what props icon contains. Size, category, icon, color. We'll transfer them to our icon. Let's create an overrides object where the values of our props will be stored. The first override will be for the icon. Let's call it icon. We'll also write that this is for the icon primitive. In props, we'll put the styles of our icon. They are size, category, and color. These props and their values won't change. What we will change is the name of the icon depending on the value of the theme. To do that, add two new props to the overrides, icon light and icon dark. Add the name of the primitive to kind. We'll inherit the props from overrides.icon. Add the FIF file icon to icon light. Add the FIF file alt icon to icon dark. To make everything work well, let's add overrides to our icon. Use the syntax with return and brackets for the overrides. We need it to use hook useOverrides. UseOverrides will result in the override that we will add to our icon. Everything else will be added to rest. Transfer the props and overrides mentioned earlier to useOverrides. We'll get the theme from the props. Transfer the override to icon. It's the theme that will define which override to use. If the theme is light, the override is icon light. If the theme is dark, the override is icon dark. To make the overrides work, add them to export. We have a bug. Let's see. We have a typo in import. We have components when it should be components. Save and check. Everything works well. The light icon can't be seen on a light background, so let's add props that will change the color of the overlay. First, let's create a separate card category. It will have the props of the card. Ready? Now let's create props for icon. Icon color will change the color of the icon. The control type is color, which is a special control for choosing a color. Make the category icon. The size of the control is 0.5. Add prop icon radius. Set input for control. Make the category icon. The size of the control is 0.5. And the last prop is icon BG size, the size of the overlay of the icon. Set input for control. The size of the control is 0.5. Set the default values. Use them in our component. Separate them from other props. All these props will be used in icon block. Specify the values for width and height equal to icon BG size. Background color will be equal to icon color, otherwise it will be primary. Border radius will be equal to icon radius. Let's rename the values of the props a little bit to make them clearer. Rename icon color to color and icon radius to icon BG radius. Add styles for card. This is needed to center the content of the element. Add the same styles for icon block. Add styles for icon. Save. Great, we have all the props. The background color of the icon block is not set by default. That's why primary was applied. Icon BG size is 72 pixels by default. Icon BG radius wasn't applied because we forgot to rename it. Let's rename it. Good. Now it works. When you switch the theme to dark, the icon changes a little bit. Change the overlay color. We're done with the icon. Let's move on to the name and description. First, let's add the margin at the bottom of the icon block. Import the text primitive. Add text under icon block. Transfer overrides to text. Let's call one override name. Add the file name to the element. Save. It's better to put the elements in a column. Add styles to the text. Transfer prop color to color. Otherwise, use primary. Convert text to uppercase. Disable selection and set the default cursor. Great! Now we have all the props for the card. We have props for icon. We don't have props for text, but you can choose it using useOverrides. Let's add a component for description in the same way. Let's call the override description. Add styles. The text color value will depend on the theme. If the theme is dark, the text will be light, and vice versa. Add more styles. Add a line with an example. Now, we need a link button download. Import the link primitive. Add override link. Make the kind link. And in the props, we have target_blank. Add the link component under the description. Transfer it to override link that we mentioned above. Style it. Copy the pattern of the color selection from the file name. Now copy the pattern of hovering your mouse from the color of the description. Add some other styles. Disable underlining. Add the download text. Save and check. You can select the link you added on the page. In props, we have target_blank by default. The component takes almost 200 lines. Let's revise what we've just done. We imported our card component, imported hook useOverrides to work with the elements in the builder, imported 3 primitives, created a wrapper from div, described general props in overrides for icon, described props in overrides for icon depending on the theme, described overrides for link, got ready to use overrides and other props in REST. We transferred REST to the main wrap element, described the styles for the elements. We transferred overrides with their unique names to each imported component, exported overrides, divided the props into categories, specified the width of the controls, specified the default values of the props where needed. By the way, you can import modules from npm in the same way. Let's change the cursor type when mousing over the link. When mousing over the link, the shadow changes, as well as the link. And the color? The component is ready.